I'd like to welcome you all to our Tuesday 1:30 p.m. session with the Legal Counsel for the Elderly once again, and Robin will be talking about SNAP benefits with you all. So I hope you all learned something new. I'm going to read our disclaimer before we get started. The WildTech DC Senior iPad program, its owners and presenters offer technical assistance, virtual health, well-being information designed for educational purposes only. You should not rely on the information, any applications, or topics made by WildTech, including but not limited to mobile device applications and any social media pages maintained by WildTech, its owners, or presenters as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, treatment, or legal advice. Thank you so much for letting me read the disclaimer. If you cannot see us or hear us or see the screen, please let us know in the chat. We'd really appreciate that. I always recommend that you have some kind of notes next to you so you could record some info and review it for later. And as always, please take advantage of the screenshot feature on your iPads as well. And last but not least, let's make sure our TVs and cell phones are silenced to give others, and most importantly, yourself, the most immersive experience. Other than that, again, Robin, if you could introduce yourself and your topic for today, we'd really appreciate that. And once again, thanks so much for coming on and presenting to our seniors.
Thank you, Alex, and thank you all for allowing me to join you today. Again, my name is Robin Griffin. I'm a senior attorney with Legal Counsel for the Elderly. I assist DC seniors with obtaining public benefits. That includes everything from Social Security, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also known as SNAP, utility assistance, and more. I work to ensure that seniors receive the income, benefits, and services to which they are entitled to help them live independently in the community. All right, so I will share my screen and we can get started. Okay, so this is my third time back. So I'm sure most of you have met me and heard about the services that we provide at Legal Counsel for the Elderly. For those who have not seen me, I want to share again that at Legal Counsel for the Elderly, we assist seniors with free legal services, social work services, and more. We assist seniors from everything from public benefits to housing, consumer issues, and I'm here today to speak to you about food security. It's important to note that talking about food insecurity is important in DC because DC has high food insecurity and it has the highest rate of seniors who are facing the threat of hunger, which is currently at around 20%. So today I want to tell you about the different food resources that we, refer to our seniors to ensure that we're doing our part to reduce food insecurity. The first program is SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also known as food stamps. We also tell seniors about the Capital Area Food Bank. They have the Grocery Plus program, the Commodity Food Program, and the Emergency Food Program. We also tell seniors about Bread for the City. They have a weekly food box as well as a farmer's market where you can get fresh produce. For SNAP benefits, it's important to know that in order to get help from this program, you have to have limited income and limited resources. Now, if you receive TANF, SSI, or another public or general assistance program, then you'll automatically be eligible for SNAP. Okay, now SNAP is based upon your gross and your net income. And your gross income means a SNAP household's total income before any deductions. And we're going to get into some of the deductions that can help you increase your SNAP benefit and really drive down your gross income. Deductions are certain allowable deductions that are subtracted from your household's gross monthly income. Now, it's important to note if you are 60 or older, or if you're a person with a disability, you can also deduct out-of-pocket medical expenses that you pay every month that are over the amount of $35. Your net income is going to be your gross income minus your allowable deductions. Please note that if you're 60 or older or a person with a disability, you only need to meet the net monthly income limit. You don't have to worry about the gross income. If your household has already been determined to be eligible again for SSI or for TANF, then you're categorically eligible for SNAP benefits. And here I included the income limits so you could get an idea of what's required. You'll notice if you are a household of one, let me go back. If you're a household of one, your net income needs to be $1,215 or less. If you're over that limit, then you may not be eligible for SNAP benefits. And remember that one way that we drive your net income down is by the deductions. And we're going to get into more of the deductions a little later. If you're 60 or older, or if you have a disability, then you don't have to meet the gross monthly income. You just need to meet the net monthly income. Okay, so what are the deductions? How can we maximize your SNAP benefit and really drive down your gross income? First, if you work, you get an earned income deduction where they take a certain percentage of your earnings and deduct that from your gross income. Everybody receives the standard deduction. If you are, raising your grandbabies, or if you have a minor child who you pay for daycare expenses or other dependent care expenses, they will allow you to deduct those expenses. If you have a child support order, you can deduct that from your gross income to maximize your benefit. Living in DC is very expensive. If you have excess shelter costs, where maybe your rent is exorbitantly high compared to your income, you're allowed to deduct those excess shelter costs. And finally, if you pay medical expenses over $35 a month, then you're allowed to deduct that as well. And all of these deductions will allow you to drive down your gross income and really maximize your monthly benefit amount. Now, we talked about income limits. Depending on your age, there are resource limits. Okay? Keep in mind that if you're categorically eligible, you don't have a limit on resources. So if you're receiving TANF or SSI, then you don't have to worry about the resource limit. Other households have a 2,000, and it's actually $2,750 in countable resource limit. If you're 60 or older, or if you have a disability, then the limit is going to be, and that has raised as well, it's $4,250, and it will increase again October 1st. Okay, another thing that we assist seniors with is you'll notice that if you have SNAP, every year or every 2 years, you have to recertify. You have to submit paperwork proving that you're still eligible for SNAP benefits. So if you need assistance completing that recertification paperwork, we're more than happy to help you with that as well. Okay, so at this time, I thought it would be a good exercise for us to actually go through and calculate some SNAP benefits. And I am going to put the address in the chat if you'd like to follow along on your iPad. I am also going to put the information as well if you would like to input as we go along. So our first senior, Miss Betty, she receives retirement in the amount of $1,200. Her rental portion is $261. She has a Pepco payment of about $89 per month. She has a phone bill of $50 a month, and she has no medical expenses. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to stop sharing for a moment and put the calculator in the chat in case anyone would like to follow along. Okay.
Unfortunately, until for a few months, there's no actual calculator in on the iPad, but I see the link that she put. I never heard of that before.
Yes. So thank you, Alex. This is a helpful link. If you're currently receiving SNAP benefits and you just want to make sure that you're receiving the correct amount, you can go to the DC Hunger Solutions calculator site, and I'll show you now how we're going to go along to calculate the benefits.
Again, thank you so much for sharing that resource. Again, I never heard of it, and it's very helpful. So thank you so much for sharing that link in the chat.
Of course, thank you. All right, so first we have Senior Betty. And so the first question is, how many people total live in your household? And you have to include all members who buy and prepare food together. So it's just Senior Betty, so we'll put one, and she is a US citizen. So we'll put Betty. Now, she receives Social Security retirement, so we're going to put no to SSI and TANF because she does not receive those benefits. So they're asking for earned income, and that's earned income is any income from your work. Uh, Betty is retired, so we'll put 0. Unearned income, you'll see is SSI, Social Security, veterans benefit, any unemployment, retirement, pension, any type of foster care, adoption subsidy, child support, help or other help with expenses, or maybe other income that you're receiving, we'll put here. So Betty receives $1,200 a month in Social Security retirement. Next, they want to know about medical expenses. And it says, medical expenses for elderly or disabled persons can be deducted from your household income. If the out-of-pocket costs are $35 a month, are over $35 a month, and if you provide receipts or other proof of payment to the ESA. And ESA is a division inside of DHS, the Department of Human Services, that processes SNAP applications. So they're asking, is this an elderly or disabled person? And Miss Betty is a senior, so we'll say yes. However, Miss Betty has no medical expenses. We're going to assume in this example that her medical expenses are covered by Medicaid and Medicare, so we'll put 0. Okay, now they want to know, does someone in your household pay for childcare, babysitting, daycare for any dependents, or care for an incapacitated adult in order to work, receive work training, or attend school? So no, Senior Betty does not. Next, they want to know, does someone in your household pay any legally obligated child support? That's no. Now they want to know the shelter cost. The shelter costs include the cost of your rent, your mortgage, your home insurance, or your property tax. We'll see in the chat that Miss Betty pays $261 in rent. We see she also pays for Pepco, and she also pays for phone. So the first option is the household is responsible for paying heating and cooling or Getzlaw heat. Second option, the household doesn't pay heat, cooling, but pays at least two other utilities. Third option, the household pays one utility and it isn't phone. Fourth option, the only utility the household pays is phone, either a cell or landline. And finally, the household doesn't pay any utilities. We know that Miss Betty pays for her Pepco and her phone, so we'll put that she's responsible for her heating and cooling. All right, so you'll see that the calculator calculated that Miss Betty's benefit based upon her income and expenses is $30 a month in food stamps. And if you'd like a breakdown whenever you're putting in your information, you can click on details and they'll give you the household size, your household income. They'll add up your deductions, including the standard deduction that we talked about everyone gets. It's currently $198. And then they looked at her shelter costs plus her utility allowance for her total shelter costs of $621. Then they calculate her net income, and based upon that, they calculated that she'll receive $30 per month in SNAP benefits. Before we move on to the next senior, does anyone have any questions?
Thank you again so much for showcasing the calculator, Robin. It's just you all can tap on the link in the chat and be able to follow along yourself as well with the calculator. Just really quick, I just noticed. So can you hit previous for me?
Yes.
So just asking just because I think of it. So because she pays for Pepco and phone, so Pepco is not considered, it is considered heat or cooling. So why would it not be the second option where it says the household doesn't pay heat, cooling, but pays at least two other utilities because you didn't put in $50 for the phone at any point. Just notice that.
Yeah, that's correct because Washington gas may be considered heating and cooling. So let's take Alex's suggestion and put in option two, and let's see if that increases her $30 per month or decreases it. Okay, so that doesn't, it look, and let's take a look because before we saw that she was given a utility allowance of 360. Because she doesn't pay heating or cooling, it looks like that was reduced to 323. But because she's receiving $1,200 a month in Social Security retirement and her rental portion is so low at 261, it didn't change the $30 per month that she's receiving. But that is a good catch, Alex. Thank you for noticing that. That's correct, that Washington gas is typically the heating and cooling. I see
I
Miss.
appreciate that. I just know the terminology, it may be simple for some, but it can mean, different things. So that's why
Right.
it's so important just to read through, the screen or whatever that you're looking at for those little words and details that can change. So I just wanted to see if I was right and just thinking of what the different options that were there. So I
Right.
appreciate that.
Yes, thank you.
Mhm.
And I see we have a couple of hands.
Mhm. Yeah. Miss Doris, you had a question or comment for Robin? Anything we covered so far?
Hello, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask the question of you listed like the shelter, your mortgage, insurance. What about your property tax? They don't give you credit for that?
Yes, ma'am. property tax go in, and we'll see that in the next example, but property tax does go into shelter costs as well.
Okay, thank you very
Of
much.
course,
Ms.
of
Doris.
course.
Anne, you had a question or comments about for Robin about anything so far?
Yes, Robin, this is Ann. I hey, the allowance, I was a little confused about that because I pay gas,
And
electric.
try to keep it general, Anne, you know, just try to keep it a little
Okay,
general.
but
Okay.
I'm just okay. The allowance that you get, is that for people who live in an apartment, or is that for people who live in a house, or is that in general?
Yes, so the utility allowance is for everyone, whether you live in a house, apartment, or even, you know, our DC seniors who are unhoused. But theirs would be zero, but it applies to everyone, the utility allowance. If you have any specific questions, you can reach out to legal counsel for the elderly, and we're happy to look at your benefits and help you make sure you're receiving the correct amount. But the utility allowance applies to everyone.
Okay, thank you, Robin.
Of course.
Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Ms. Doris. I appreciate it. Don't forget to lower your hands and mute yourself. Thank you so much. And just really quick, I noticed when you all, or when you got onto the site, or when I got onto the site, Robin, this is just for DC, right? I think
Yes.
it had a Maryland link. If you know, of course, we're all in DC, all of our seniors, but for any friends and family, this is just for DC.
Correct. Yes.
Thank you. We have two more hands, and then we'll move on to our next example. Hi, it's Meryl Jones. You can hit unmute in the middle. You have a question or comment for
Yes, I
Robin?
have a question. With that formula, is my understanding the food stamp program is funded by the federal and state. Is that combined together of that formula to reach that net amount of receiving the benefit of a dollar amount?
Yeah, so to make sure I understand, I want to repeat the question. The formula that they use to calculate your SNAP benefit, are you asking if it comes from federal and state?
Is it joint the federal and the state dollar amount, or is the federal program, nutrition program, is connected with the SNAP program?
Sure, thank you for that question. So there is some federal and state overlap with SNAP. Some of our seniors who receive $30, they'll notice that 23 of the dollars are from the federal SNAP program. And then there's like this $7 extra local payment that's added to come up to the $30. Also, you'll notice recently DC had increase the level of SNAP benefits through the Give SNAP a Raise program that I think is going to end next month. But I think if any of us were receiving SNAP benefits, then we notice those local funds, you know, in our SNAP benefit amount. So it's a federal program, but there is overlap with the state, and sometimes there is an increase in the payment. But you'll usually hear about that through DHS. Did I answer your question? Because I want to make sure that I answer it fully.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you so much, Ms. Jones. Mr. Irvin?
Thank you again, Ms. Jones. Don't forget to lower your hand and mute yourself. Thank you so much. Hi, Yvonne. How are you doing today? Oh, you accidentally muted yourself. Hit unmute again.
All right, I'm sorry. Very quickly. Now, you mentioned a word. I didn't quite make it out. You said tenant or something. I know it started with the T, and I didn't.
TANF? Are you talking about TANF?
What is that?
Yes, so TANF is cash assistance.
Would you spell that out and let me know what you're saying, please?
Yes, of course. Let me get that acronym for you for TANF. And thank you so much. Sometimes we get so used
Yeah,
to using the acronyms. It's temporary assistance for needy families, and it's the cash assistance. So let me place that in the chat for everyone.
yeah, these acronyms can get to be a problem. And I get a bill for property taxes twice a year. So I guess the idea would be to divide that by 12 to calculate my monthly property tax.
Correct. You're correct.
All right. I just wanted to be sure because that bill just came in the mail and I've got to tackle it for sure.
Sure, and you bring up a good point. Thank you so much for asking. If you do receive a bill for higher homeowners insurance, higher taxes, or if you're renting and your rent increases, you can always go to DHS with that proof to ask them to recalculate your benefit amount because the higher your expenses go, like your shelter expenses,
Yes.
the higher your SNAP benefit can also go. And we're going to talk about this a little later in the program, but if you're on Social Security and every year in January we get that cost of living increase, sometimes that cost of living increase because your income increased will make your SNAP benefits go down because you have more money, even though it may just be $100 or $200 more, that can really decrease your SNAP benefits.
Yeah. So you should calculate your um, annual insurance property taxes that you pay and do it divided by 12 to calculate your monthly expense for homeowners insurance.
Correct, correct.
Thank you so much, Robin. Thank
Of
you, Alex.
course.
Thank you, Yvonne, for your question. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you for lowering your hands and muting yourselves, everyone. I don't see any other hands up, but those are some great questions. So thank you, Robin, for answering those. And I look forward to see the difference for this individual and see how things may change.
Okay, great. So now we have Senior Ben, and again, it's a household of one. So we'll put Ben here, and he is not receiving SSI or TANF. He's receiving $1,800 in Social Security retirement. Again, he's not working, so it would be zero in earned income, $1,800 a month in unearned income. Okay, now he does have medical expenses of $200 per month. So I am going to bring out my handy dandy calculator so that we can take his $200 a month in expenses minus the $35 limit. That leaves us with 165. Okay. And when they say medical expenses, they want to know about doctor and dentist visits, hearing aids, eyeglasses, or other durable medical supplies, medicines prescribed by a doctor, hospital visits, health insurance premiums, copays, deductibles, and other payments, or transportation to your medical appointments. So Mr. Ben has $165 in expenses, well, 200, but we have to subtract them because remember, they're out-of-pocket costs that are over $35 per month.
So you don't put, so you have to take away 35 yourself. You don't put the 200 in the box and it doesn't automatically deduct it for you?
Okay, I don't believe it does, but let's see, Alex. You may,
I
you may,
just noticed that
yeah.
as well. Sometimes they could be, it could be a little not cumbersome, but how they word different things.
Right. So let's see. We'll see at the end when they calculate it. So let's put 200 because that's what Mr. Ben receives. And then we'll notice it at the end.
Yeah. The great
Now,
thing is with anything online, you can always just go back.
right.
Mhm.
That's why we love the previous button. Mr. Ben does not have any dependent care expenses, so that's no. Mr. Ben does not owe child support, so that's no. Now, for shelter costs, we do have to bring out the calculator because Mr. Ben has a mortgage of $1,100 per month. He has, let's see, property tax that comes out to $80 per month. He has homeowners insurance that comes out to $110 per month. So his monthly shelter cost is $1,290. Now, Mr. Ben pays Pepco $60 per month. Mr. Ben has Washington Gas, $120 per month. He has Washington Water, $50 per month. So he is responsible for heating and cooling. So we will select the first one. Okay, so Mr. Ben is eligible for $139 per month in SNAP benefits. He has a family of one. His income is $1,800. He gets the deduction like everyone else for $198. And
Look at
Alex,
that.
you
Yeah,
yes,
look at that.
you were right. So you just have to put in your medical expenses. You don't have to do the calculations. They'll take off the $35. So he received that deduction. And then we get down to his adjusted income. He has the $1,290. He pays his mortgage, property tax, and also the homeowner's insurance. He pays heating and cooling. And so he gets the 360 utility allowance. So his total shelter costs are $1,650. He does receive the excess shelter costs because you'll notice Mr. Ben only receives $1,800 a month in retirement benefits, but his mortgage is $1,100. His property tax is $80 per month. He has to pay homeowners insurance. So he gets to deduct those excess shelter costs here. And once they calculate his net income, he receives a SNAP benefit of $139 per month. Okay, so I see we have a couple of questions in the chat. The first is, can you call me because I gave my telephone number because I need some legal advice? Okay. Let's see. So I will follow up with our hotline. If you gave us a call and you didn't hear from anyone, I will follow up and ask them to reach out to you to definitely provide some assistance. I'll also
You have your contact info at the end of your, you have a
I
slide with
do.
that, right?
Yes, I do. So I'll be sure to put that. And then the second question is, what if you receive a monthly pension also? Okay, great question. Let's assume that you're just one person, you don't receive SSI or TANF. Remember, you can come here and put your pension, any retirement or pension that you receive, you can put it in the unearned income slot. So if you get Social Security benefits or veterans benefits and your pension, you add it up and then you put it here. They even give you a calculator where you can put in all of your income. Let's say you receive $1,000 per month in Social Security benefits, and then you get like a $500 pension. Maybe you're a veteran and you get $200. These are just guesses. So you can calculate it and they'll add it up for you here. So you can put all of your income and just how often you receive it. Okay. Does QMB automatically qualify you for SNAP? The income for QMB is higher than SNAP, so it doesn't, but SSI and TANF will. Because SSI is only $943 per month, and to be eligible for TANF, you have to be low income. You are automatically eligible for SNAP, whereas QMB has a higher income limit. All right. Any questions about the calculator or how to calculate your SNAP benefit?
Again, thank you for showcasing this different example. It's just nice to see how, each person is going to be different. So it's all about just making sure you have your documents and just kind of, space out your expenses or just write out your expenses kind of in that manner when you're doing that calculator. So you have everything that you need next to you and you can, just calculate your information. Yourself in a certain way. I guess, Robin, if this is not too far-fetched, but just to kind of, this is like a safety check. When you get your benefits, can you put your information in there and see if it matches up with what
Yes,
they give you?
exactly. Yes. And that's why we wanted to provide it to you all, just so, like Alex said, it can be like a safety check just to make sure that they calculated everything correctly. And then if you receive increased rent, increased tax bill, increased homeowners insurance, you can put it in the calculator. And if you're supposed to get a higher benefit, go to DHS, provide them with the proof, and ask them to recalculate your benefit so you can receive that higher amount. Okay, I see we have a question, Miss Webb.
Okay, thank you again for asking your questions, you all. If you have a question, please raise your hand in Zoom, and we'd be more than happy to help you out. Let's see, Miss. I don't know if you lowered your hand because we answered your question, Gracie.
Okay.
Go to raise your hand. Next up is Miss Doris again. You have a question or comment for Robin?
I wanted to ask you, can you apply for this online or you always got to go in person?
You can apply online through District Direct. If you, I think last time we were here, we talked about how to open up an account. So once you open up the account, you can attach your, Medicaid, QMB, and food stamp cases, and you can apply online. You can also upload documents to ask them to recalculate your benefit. And I can put, let's see, let me get that
I can
for
put
you.
the link to the app in the chat.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Robin.
Of course.
Yes, please utilize the District Direct app. It's very useful and it has all of your information in one spot. So I also just put that into the chat. This is the link to the District Direct app. So that way you can access it to look up your benefits, do recertifications, apply for other programs. It helps out with a lot. So I just, again, put the link to the District Direct app in the chat.
Thank you, Alex. Miss Webb?
Okay, let's see. Thank you, Gracie. What is your question or comment for Robin?
Yes, Robin. If you're a renter, you have like renter's insurance and, like your medicals, you have your deductibles you got to pay, when you have insurance before they pay everything. Can you claim any of that?
If there's anything that you have to pay out of pocket that the insurance doesn't cover, then you can, as long as it's over $35, you can claim that for your medical deduction. Unfortunately, I'm not sure why, but if you're a homeowner, you can include your homeowner's insurance. But if you're a renter, 9 times out of 10, they won't count the renter's insurance.
Okay.
But for any out-of-pocket medical expenses, yes, I encourage you to include that when you're applying for SNAP.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you so much, Gracie. We really appreciate that.
All right, so on your iPads, you can do a search for the Capital Area Food Bank. This is a great resource, whether you have SNAP or not, because as we saw earlier, sometimes you can receive SNAP and $30 can only stretch so far. So the Capital Area Food Bank has food pickup. They're located at 5601 East Capitol Street Southeast. And again, you can do a search on your iPad to see when they have their food pickup. They operate in the summer months. They also have the farmers market vouchers so that you can get fresh produce and fresh vegetables. Miss Dennis?
Uh,
Okay.
and I know you lowered your hand. You had a question.
I'm sorry, I forgot to unmute.
Oh, no. Yes.
I was just talking too. They have not included my homeowner's insurance. Should I make a point of that, or should I just wait until it's?
Yes, I would definitely let DHS know because remember your shelter costs help to increase your benefits. So
Mhm.
if you can bring it into any of their service centers, if you have District Direct, you can upload proof of it and ask them to recalculate your SNAP payment. But yes, your homeowner's insurance, including that, is going to drive down your income and increase your benefit. So I would follow up with DHS about that.
Thank you, Robin, because I
Of,
will I'm bringing to my case manager's attention too.
of course, great. I'm happy you have that support because they can follow up also. That's great.
Yeah, because $30 don't buy much, you know that?
Exactly, of course. Right.
Okay.
Thank you again, Anne.
Thank you, Robin.
Of course. So another program I wanted to share with you all is an income-based program. If your income is at or below 130% of the federal poverty guideline, you may be eligible for the Grocery Plus program run through Capital Area Food Bank. You also have to be older, 60 or older for this program. The Capital Area Food Bank also provides emergency food assistance. So, I love the Capital Area Food Bank. They have many programs to help seniors and DC residents, tackle food insecurity. They also, some important points of the Emergency Food Assistant Program is, again, you have to be a resident of DC, you have to meet the income guidelines. They don't restrict how often you can go to the food pantry. And in order to find your local food pantry, you can, again, on your iPad, search the Capital Area Food Bank. And you can put in your zip code and they'll let you know which food pantry is closest to you, or you can give them a call at 202-644-9807. That's 202-644-9807. And this is the Emergency Food Assistance Program run by the Capital Area Food Bank. Okay.
I'm going to put in some, we actually had them on a couple of times already, so I'm going to put some of those links in the chat for our YouTube channel so you can learn more about those programs in specific as well.
Awesome, awesome. All right, so another great program to help supplement your SNAP benefits is the programs run by Bread for the City. They have pickup times Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 and then 1 to 3. You can go to their Northwest Food Pantry located at 1525 7th Street Northwest. Or you can, if you're in Southeast, you can go to 1700 Good Hope Road Southeast for food pickup. And again, they're available Monday through Thursday from 10 to 12 or 1 to 3. And that's Bread for the City. Now, the amount of food that you're given is going to be based upon your household size, and they do want proof of your household size. So again, if you have adopted children, grandchildren, or just minor children, you can bring your school records, TANF records, insurance information, or you can bring your lease information to prove your household size. They also do a farmer's market where they provide you with free, fresh seasonal produce. And they do this every fourth Friday of the month at 9 a.m. and they do it at their Northwest Center. It ends at 11:45, so it's from 9 a.m. to 11:45 or until they run out of food. And remember, the Northwest Center is located at 1525 7th Street Northwest. Okay, so we talked about this a little earlier, and I just wanted to touch on this point briefly. During the public health emergency, during COVID, a lot of seniors, because we were going through a public health emergency, they didn't have to do recertifications for SNAP. And every senior, if you were on SNAP, because we were going through the COVID and a pandemic, you got the maximum. You received $281. Well, last year in March, when the federal public health emergency ended, we received so many calls from seniors because their $281 were drastically reduced. Some of them were reduced down to $30. So what we've noticed, and I just want to put you on notice for this, is that with the end of the public health emergency, with the increase every January and the cost of living increase, seniors have noticed that their SNAP benefits are decreasing because as the income goes up, then your SNAP benefit is going to decrease. That's why we tell everyone, if you have medical expenses, if you have housing expenses, taxes, homeowners insurance, make sure to get that to DHS so that you can drive that income down and raise your SNAP benefit amount. Okay. Finally, some ways to help get more money in your budget for food is to maybe reduce your other costs. You can reduce costs by applying for LAHEAP. But I do want to tell you, LAHEAP, they were helping so many seniors, so many DC residents, they ran out of funds. But October 1st, the new year starts and they'll start accepting applications. Even though LAHEAP ran out of funds, you can still apply for the monthly utility discount program. But I wanted to make you all aware of that. Or you can also apply for Lifeline. Some people call them the government phones, but they provide low-cost phones to you, and that's another way to lower your bill. If you apply for LAHEAP October 1st, when the funds are reinstated, you can bring your service disconnection notice or a bill from your utility company, your ID, your social security card, and proof of your household. You can apply online or you can mail in your documents to the Utility Affordability Administration. And if you want to search on your iPad, you can do a search for LAHEAP and then LAHEAP DC, and that will bring up the different options for you to apply. LAHEAP has really generous income limits. So if you're one person, as long as you earn in a year $49,814 or less, then you can apply for LAHEAP. Okay, now there are also utility assistance if you have, some of these other programs. For instance, United Healthcare. If you're duly enrolled in United Healthcare, on your U card every month, they put a subsidy that will allow you to use it on either groceries or you can use it on your utility bill. If you want more information, you should receive a case manager through United Healthcare and they can help you with that subsidy. But again, that's only for people who are duly enrolled in United Healthcare. Okay, so we are at the end of our presentation And I do want to get that number for everyone and place it in the chat. Miss Dennis, did you have a question while I'm getting the number?
Again, thank you so much for especially for that the bit on the utility assistance and just becoming aware of those different things that are coming up. What I will say, with the end of, as you said, the public health emergency, a lot of services may be changing, especially with the upcoming new fiscal year. So like especially like I just noticed like the Lifeline and ACP programs. I know that because of the changes in the government structure, the ACP program is ending in a way, and Lifeline
Yes,
like greatly reduced. So just I would say just take advantage of all the benefits that are available as you can. So just wanted to also mention that as well. Thank you, Robin. Again, if you all want to call the legal counsel for any general assistance with this topic or any other the previous topics that Robin has came on and talked to us about, please call the legal counsel at the number in the chat. So I see you have put it in there. I'm going to put it in myself just because. And it's a resource. Please give them a call. What are their hours?
we are available from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m.
Monday through Friday, right?
Yes, I can put that also.
Wonderful.
All right.
And
I
please
want,
call. I know nothing like having some help. And you don't have to do everything by yourself. You can just call and if you have a simple question or a longer question, I'm sure that they are willing to help out. So
of course.
mhm.
Thank you, Alex. And I want to make sure I answer your question, Miss Dennis.
Mhm. Yep. Hey, Ann, again, thanks so much for coming on. You have a question or comment for
I'm
Rob?
sorry to ask so much, but
It's
Oh, no,
okay.
it's okay. It's
Thank
good.
you.
the Medicare has a program that offers that card too, but I wasn't sure whether that was a scam or I'm real scared about. It's just too much scams out here for me. So
I
is that illegal? Or is that a scam?
I sympathize with what you're saying. It's very important to pay attention and make sure we don't fall for scams. I would say if you have a case manager who can walk you through it, I would bring that to her attention or his attention. Because I don't have it in front of me, I'm not able to assess it, but I can tell you there are programs like through United Healthcare with the U card. Well, they'll put that subsidy on your card every month and you can use it to buy groceries. You can use it to pay for your utility bill. So if you have a case manager and you have that card, I would bring it to her or him, and your case manager can walk you through it.
Okay, thank you so much, Robin. And you
Of
you were
course.
very informative today. Very,
Thank
very.
you.
I
Thank you for
appreciate you.
having me.
Okay.
Of course.
Thank you so much, Ann. We really appreciate that. And let's see. I don't see any other questions, any last minute questions or anything else that Robin talked about. You had a question or a comment on, please raise your hand. But again, thank you so much, Robin, for presenting to our seniors today. I guess maybe can you just reflect on maybe some of the like how you feel like the changes in SNAP in these past few years with COVID, after COVID, like what how do you feel like the changes have like affected seniors or like any last words of advice for regarding SNAP or
Of
utility
course.
assistance?
Of course, thank you, Alex. So with the changes after the public health emergency, they've actually made it tougher for people to, afford groceries. A lot of our clients, we've noticed that their SNAP benefits have decreased. So my purpose today is to bring these resources to you to tell you about Capital Area Food Bank, Bread for the City, tell you how to talk to DHS and, bring in your homeowner's insurance, bring in your tax information. So you can raise your benefit amount to ensure that you have the food that you need and you deserve. There are other ways like applying for LAHEAP in October when the funding comes back, or other programs, talking to your case managers to make sure that you're taking advantage of all of the programs that are available to you. Because food security is for everyone. You deserve healthy, nutritious meals. And if you need any help going through the SNAP process, our number is in the chat. So please give us a call, and thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Wow. Okay. Oh, and we have two questions. I think we'll end with those two. One, I see we have Denise, and then I have one in the chat. Hi, Denise. You have a quick comment or
Hi. Yeah,
question for Robin before we end?
yeah, I do. How are you?
Good, how
I
are
just
you?
wanted to ask a quick question. Last year, October, every October you get a raise. So last year I didn't get a raise, and now it's almost October again. So I'm still at the same amount, $30. So I guess I'm not gonna get a raise again. And then sometime they give you $20. And
Right.
I think
I
the
don't
20 is
know.
every year, right? That's that one time of every year for that $20. Is that what you're saying, Denise? Or is that every month?
I think they used to give it to you every birthday, but now
Because
I
I
don't.
know LIHEAP, they give you a 20, I know every year, so they give you like a $20 credit for towards your cash.
Yeah,
I
from
know
the
of that, but I'm not sure about that $20. But
yeah, but I was wondering last year why didn't I get a raise? Some people they were saying they got their raises. It wasn't no more $2, $3, but I didn't get any. And this year it's almost October again. I'm still getting that 30. So I guess I don't know if it's going by the income or what it is.
Right.
But
And
normally, I'm
mhm.
sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. What
But
happens
normally they
normally?
give you if it ain't no more than $3, $4. They give you when they say a raise, that's what you're supposed to get. But they didn't give
Right.
me none.
Right. And because we don't have your income and your deductions, we can't really you know, speak
Uh-huh.
on that, but I would go through the calculator, because if your income is increasing every year, and I don't know if your expenses are staying the same, then you may not get that raise in your SNAP benefits. But
Uh,
I would use the
uh,
calculator. And then also in October, whenever some people get a raise, they usually get the calculations. Like they'll tell you, this is your reported income, these are your
mm-hmm.
deductions, so this is what you're going to receive. So if you this October you should be receiving that letter. So I would read through it to see, maybe it's your income increasing that is keeping
Oh,
your benefit amount down. But I would
yeah.
definitely use the calculator to see if you're getting the correct amount.
Yeah, because every January everybody get an increase in their Social Security also.
Right,
That
right.
could be, I'm not sure.
Right, because a lot of clients we see, they get that cost of living increase and then their SNAP benefit goes down because their
Mm-hmm.
income went up.
Yeah, that's what it could have been.
Right.
Oh, well, thank you for listening and answering my question.
Of course, happy to
Thank
do it.
you.
Of course.
Have a good day.
You too. And thank you, Gracie Webb, so much for putting those updated hours. I want to make sure I'm providing the correct information. So she says that Bread for the City is Monday through Thursday, 9 to 3 p.m. No breaks now. So that's good to know. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gracie and Denise, for your question. And our last question for today asks, does DHS have the ability to auto recertify you based on their computer system access to your income?
Yes, they do. But if the information they have is not correct, once you receive that letter where they tell you, oh, we found that you were still eligible, or we found that you weren't eligible, We help many clients with terminations, going through the Office of Administrative Hearings, filing a request to ensure that clients receive the benefits that they deserve. But typically you see auto renew for clients who receive SSI or TANF because DHS already has that income information. So they know if you are on SSI or TANF, then you're automatically eligible for SNAP benefits. But so yes, they have the capacity to do that. But if there are any errors in the process, you can always appeal, and we can help you do that at Legal Counsel for the Elderly.
Thank you so much for answering that, Robin. I really appreciate that. Again, I just put the calculator again, so you can copy the link, paste it if you want, share with others, utilize it yourself. And there's also the legal counselor's number as well. So for anything that we talked about or have talked about with the legal counsel, please make sure you all give him a call so you can get some of those more specific questions answered. I really appreciate that. Gracie, did you just want to mention something about the bread for
Yeah,
the city?
just wanted to say that the place I went to was the 7th Street Northwest branch of the Bread of the City. I don't know about the other one, but those are the new hours for that one.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Okay.
We really
Thank
appreciate
you.
that, Gracie. Thank you.
Mhm.
And let's all make sure to stay on to complete a poll to let us know how you felt about today's session. But once again, let's thank Robin so much for a wonderful presentation on SNAP benefits. Hopefully you can help yourself and others as well. Please share the information and the legal counsel's info with others as well. But again, let's make sure to stay on to complete a poll. But let's give Robin a big thank you for presenting for today's session. Thank you, Robin, and see you next month.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Robin.
Good night.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye.
You.
Thank you, Robin.
Cut
Thank
off quick.
you. Thank you all.